was for teenage Dennis Brown, had given us the wonderful vocal track Silhouette for producer Derek Harriott. Then he went to King Tubby's studio with Augustus Pablo and his melodica and cut that bass and drum version. Another man to come through King Tubby's door, of course, was Niney the Observer. The vocal had been from Dennis Brown. The dub sounded like this. Worries. Mix it, Tubbies. Was the king. Dubbing with the Observer.
The king at the control. Move out of Babylon, Rastaman, and leave all the wicked men. The Almighty. Coming from the north with my face to the south, I'm quite sure I can knock you out. I am the Gaga. I don't mess with the east or the west. I leave the public to such. I leave the public to such as I am the I am the in a this yard, I am the guy. Hey, hey, hey. Coming from the north. I am the guy.
Cornell Gamble's Gorgon. Move Out of Babylon from Johnny Clark. And Jamaica, of course, has a new Prime Minister this week. Michael Manley came through on a landslide victory. I never, ever, ever involved myself in Jamaican politics for very obvious reasons, but at the time when this record was made, it was certainly very appropriate. It's, I suppose, even more appropriate now. Joshua. Johnny Clark.
Joshua and stop, Jaja bless Joshua, cause God's program go stop. No capitalist shall escape in this time. Capitalist beat. Joshua, Joshua, program I go stop.
The King at the controls, mixed by King Tubby. One day at the studio, Roy was voicing some dubs for Tubby in a DJ style over some old Duke Reed rhythms, and they sounded great. They sounded so great that they decided to take them to Duke's studio and let him have a listen. Duke loved what he heard, and that was it. Roy's career as Jamaica's DJ godfather and teacher was launched, and the hits kept on coming. Meanwhile, the demand for the unique dub sounds of King Tubby's studio grew and grew, until whole albums started coming out featuring King Tubby mixing wicked dubs of different producers' rhythm tracks on the board, which he'd purchased from Dynamic Studios. First album was King Tubby, the Dub Master Presents the Roots of Dub, and it featured a photograph of Tubbs with his crown on, seated at the mixing board in his studio at 18 Drummondley Avenue. Nobody else mixed dubs like Tubbs. Here's one for Black and White.
They say don't go on Wolverton Mountain if you're looking for a wife, 'cause Clifton lips are sweeter than honey on Wolverton Mountain, protects her there.
Lonely, lonely, he's a lonely stranger.
1975, we're all rocking to the vocal and the dubwise of that one. Roman Stewart gave it to us. Wolverton Mountain, Tubby mixed it. Part 2, good for you, dubwise. And then, of course, Johnny Clark was in the arena.
I am the king of the arena. I'm rule the arena. So don't you ever challenge I, 'cause you can't conquer I. 'Cause I'm rule the arena. Back where we is dead in the arena. 'Cause I'm no deal with no dead. I'm just deal with life. I'm a king in the arena. So don't you ever try to challenge I, 'cause I'm a ruler in a arena, whoa, in a arena. I am the king in a arena. I'm rule the arena. Back where we did that in a arena. 'Cause I'm no deal with no dead. I'm just deal with that. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, yeah, tell them. Back where we did that in the arena. 'Cause I'm no deal with no dead. I'm just deal it live. 'Cause I'm a king in the arena. I'm a rule in the arena. I'm a control the arena. Whoa. I am prince of the arena. So don't you ever challenge I. 'Cause you can't conquer I. Oh no, oh no, oh no. I am the king in the arena.
King in the arena, there's Johnny Clark, and you can imagine how many versions King Tubby mixed of that one. On the end of the phone now from Kingston, Jamaica, we have King Jammy. Jammy, are you there?
Yes, Dave.
This is obviously a great tragedy, what has happened down there. You, more than anyone, knew Tubby because you worked with him for so many years. Why did it happen? Why did they do this to him?
Well, Dave, nobody can tell why they did it. Because Tubby is a man and don't trouble anybody. He was so peaceful and gentle to people. You know, throughout these years, I've been with Tubby since I was 10 years old. I believe you me. It's a great loss, Dave. Like somebody, it's like you killed my father, you know. But
Well, Jammy,
he's the one who taught me everything I know.
well, Jammy, thank you very much for the time.
Yeah, only one thing I have to say. Anybody who do that, right? You can hide from man, but you can't hide from God.
That's true.
And may his soul rest in peace. But he will be remembered through the world forever and ever.
He was the king, wasn't
He was king. He was a true king.
he? I mean,
If it wasn't for him, Dave, I wouldn't be around. I know what I know today. He was a teacher.
it's right, those early days and you and him together at the studio.
Believe you me, Dave, I watched how he built his foundation from a bicycle. He used to ride his bicycle, gather bits and pieces of old radio parts to build amplifiers. He's coming from nothing. Nobody should envy him and take his life. Or, believe you me, Dave, the whole Jamaica is mourning right now. The whole world is mourning right now.
Indeed it is.
I know how you feel, Dave, because you've been associated with Tubby's for so many years. That's where you knew me. You knew me at King Tubby's recording studio.
Of course I did.
Believe you me, Dave. I can't tell you how I feel.
Well, I can't tell you how I feel. I can't tell you how the whole reggae world in this country feels. I mean, we were devastated when we received the news. And right now here on Capital Radio, we are doing a very special tribute to the King. And obviously that's why we had to phone you, because, as I've said already, you more than anyone had worked so closely with him from those early years. And, you know, your feelings are shared by all of us.
Yes, yes.
We send, and I say we, the whole of the British reggae world sends its condolences to Tubby's family. And thank you for taking the time to talk to us, Jammy, despite obviously how you're feeling.
Thank you very much, Dave.
Thank you, Jammy.
Okay, Dave.
1976. That was the first release on the Jammies label in Jamaica. Credited to Jammies and King Tubby's. It was called Zambia. Mixed by Jammy at Tubby's. And thank you to Jammy for that link up from Jamaica. It was, of course, upon King Tubby's invitation that Jammy had come back to Jamaica from Canada, where he'd been living, to assist Tubby's as his engineer in the studio. And Jammy was in turn followed by scientist and professor, and then Pigo and Fat Man, and most recently Fitzy Banton. During all this time, Tubby was still there, but was concentrating on the planning and the building of his new 24-track studio at the back of the existing one in his bungalow there on Drummerley Avenue. It was to become a classic labour of love, I suppose you could say, a project that took him years. Every single board which lined the studio wall was hand-picked by Tubby from the wharf at Kingston Harbour. It was an enormous studio, and he'd personally designed every inch of it himself. He'd taken an intensive home course in acoustics and applied his knowledge towards obtaining the best possible sound in the new studio. The door to the studio alone was a work of art, beautifully hand-carved and polished with the famous crown, of course. And throughout all this time in the music business, he still continued to repair TVs and radios and hi-fi equipment, and anything electrical went on in that bungalow. And it was only during the last 4 years that he really began to produce and release a lot of records on his own Firehouse and then Waterhouse and Taurus labels. Although back in 1979 he did record the Pure Rankin album with Horace Andy. A 12-inch mix came out in the UK and it went clear. It was 1979. It took a long time to come out. It certainly didn't come out till way down in 1980. It was produced by Osborne Rudder, King Tubby, Pure Rank and Horace Andy, the dub instrumental from King Jammy. They worked together at that studio until Jammy, of course, went his own way just around the corner, built his own studio. It was several years before Tubby started to punch out more records after that brief encounter. And then in August 1985, he came with what was undoubtedly his biggest hit to date, Tempo from Anthony Redrose. It set the reggae world alight. Everyone was bawling for this record. And when I went down to Jamaica, I made it my business to go to Tubbs and specially request an exclusive dubplate mix of this because I just thought it was so fantastic, this rhythm. So Tubby's took the board and it sounded like this.
That's the Rodigan. No.
Tubby's himself.
Can't say me never did I warn you. Oh Lord, me tell you. Whoa, 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 whoa. No trouble, take your Lord of God. Big me shut it, I go feed you. Yay. No trouble, take your Lord of God. Big me shut it, I go feed you. Whoa. I just love how the champion sound keep playing, keep playing. At a reggae-matical style, him a flash till the morning, till the morning. I with a little of this, a little of that. Listen my voice through the tweeter box. Some sweeter, with an echo chamber. And don't you know, we are the danger. Temper, my God, is a sound in a temper. Whoa, fever, my God, that is sound in a fever. Whoa, I just love how the dancehall girls keep dancing in a timing. At a reggae-matical style, just a flash on the rhythm, on the rhythm. And with a little of this, a little of that. Girls, them a bubble like a soup in a pot. Some like it cold, some like it hot, hey. Oh, ho, ho, like a soup in a pot. Temper, my God, this a sound in a temper. Whoa, fever, my God, that the sound in a fever. I just love how the champion sound keep playing, keep playing. At a reggae-matical style, him a flash till the morning, till the morning. We no rap and we no joke, cut white show, skin and we no ramp, get ignorant. Think a lie sound, boy come try. A idiot sound, we call that low-fi. High temper, my God, this a sound in a temper. Whoa, fever, my God, that is sound in a fever.
dubplate mix of Tempo by King Tubby.
You son boy, I you for the Jones to talk to. You are play, but you're not playing a dub. We don't lend dub and we don't borrow dub. Cause you're going around and bigging up it just like you run the lawn. And the boy you can't run the dinner. When it comes to sound class business, we not kin teeth, cause we not care teeth. Take this Johnny Osborne fresh. A best son boy, a best.
From the east to the west, this a sound it has the best. From the north to the south, this a sound it has shock out. Make a dibby dibby sound boy, run up him out. Cause enough of them, they bout enough of them now play out. This sound, we no beg no friend. The double win the barrow, miss a double win the lend. Miss a this sound, we no beg no friend. Double win the barrow, miss a double win the lend. So line up, come in at the dance, it is a roadblock. I always honor the dot, miss every line up, come in at the dance, it is a roadblock. I always honor the dot. Say I see people forming a line. I sight the old lady on the ladder, she climbed over the wall and in the dance hall, it is a roadblock. I always honor the dot, it is a roadblock. Hey, I miss the people in the dance can't get outside. The people outside can't get inside. Promoter, I love the liquor, I sell off. The gate man, I love because the tickets sell off. Me said the peanut man, I love because the peanuts sell off. Me said the cane man, I love with the empty cane cart. It is a roadblock. I always honor do that. It is a roadblock. I always honor do that. Me said this sound, we no beg no friend. Double win no barrow, me say double win no lend. Me say this sound, we no beg no friend. Say double win no barrow, me say double win no lend. It if a line up, come in at the dance. It is a roadblock. I always honor do that. Me say if a line up, come in at the dance. It is a roadblock. I always honor do that. Me say if a line up, come in at the dance. It is a roadblock. I always honor do that. From the east to the west, this a sound it all the best. From the north to the south, this a sound it all shock out. I make a idiot sound boy, you run up him out. Because enough of them, they bout enough of them now play out. But this sound, we no beg no friend. Say double win the barrow, me say double win the lend. Say this sound, we no beg no friend. Say double win the barrow, me say double win the lend. So line up, come in at the dance, it is a roadblock. I always sound to do that. Me say if you line up, come in at the dance, it is a roadblock. I always sound to do that. The people in the dance can find a place to walk. The cars outside can find a place to park. I sight a old massive, all of them just a talk about this sound. Whoa, I me say this sound, we no big no friend. Say double win the barrow, me say double win the lend. I me say this sound, we no big no friend. Say double win the barrow, me say double win the lend. I me say this sound, we no big no friend. We dust your sound already, we dust your sound again. I me say this sound, we no big no friend. You can't stand the pressure, you have to bring your sound friend. Say that this sound, whoa, I'm a talking about this sound. Hey, you have to line up, come in at the dance, it is a roadblock. I always sound to do that, me say if you line up, come in at the dance, it is a roadblock. I always sound to do that, me say if you line up, come in at the dance, it is a roadblock. I always sound to do that, say I see people forming a line. I sight the old lady on the ladder, she climbed over the wall and in the dance hall, it is a roadblock. I always sound to do that, it is a roadblock.
Line up, there's Johnny Osborne from the album that King Tubby produced, the Sound Clash dubplate style album.
Whoa, yeah. My sound. Whoa, yeah, let me show you when everything seems to be some kind of wonderful. Now anytime my little world seems blue, I just listen to sound when everything seems to be some kind of wonderful. I know I can't express this feeling of tenderness. There's so much I wanna say, but the right sound just come my way. I think I know when I will kill a sound. happy sound when everything seems to be so kind of wonderful, 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 Lord, some kind of wonderful, sounding kind of wonderful. All you gotta do is touch the sound. Let me show you when everything seems to be some kind of wonderful. Now anytime a little world seems blue, I just listen to sound when everything seems to be some kind of wonderful. I know I can't express this feeling of tenderness. There's so much I wanna say, but the right sound just come my way. I think I know when I will kill a sound. This sound is a killer sound.
The sound of now. From the studios of the late great King Tubby, the vocal from Bobby Livingston, wonderful, and there's the dub mix. King Tubby, he had an incredibly wide and varied knowledge of music and electronics, the combination of which provided us with a musical legacy, the like of which we're unlikely to ever hear again. That's why he was called King Tubby, the dub master. The tribute is over, and the final one has to be with Augustus Pablo, a tune that he dedicated to Tubby, and it's simply called Tubby's Dub Song, in memory. His soul rest in peace.
Capital Radio.